I'm going to and what I want to do is I want to share my screen. I am going to go to Google Drive. And I've learned a lot so far in the, yesterday I was trying to show you how to do this and with the Google Draw. And so I've managed to figure it all out and to do some other things within uh, the pieces. So I'm not just at these remedial kind of shapes that I felt like I was at yesterday. So here's one I was working on. There's a couple others that I'm working on. I wanted to show you in case you are using paper. I feel like the paper is, you have a lot more freedom with that. You have a lot more freedom of shape and all that kind of stuff. But with the Google Draw, I know that some of you don't have construction paper and stuff like that. So I just wanted to give you a, an option. So here's the original PowerPoint that I showed you guys and some examples of that. Some a little bit more complicated examples, some pretty simple ones. So you have a lot of options, as far as if you are indeed using paper. But let me go through the Google slides. I mean the process of doing it on Google Draw. So process would be you would start with new, go to more, and go to Google Drawings. So then it comes up with this checkerboard kind of space here. I'm actually going to move this and I'm going to move this up a little bit so we have the whole space. So the first thing you do is you're going to draw a square. So you go to shapes, go to the more angular shapes, and we're going to pick this one. And I'm just going to guess, I'm not measuring, but I'm just guessing a square. And I'm going to just move this over just a tad. And I'm going to make it black. So with the paint bucket, I'm going to hit black. I'm going to make sure there's no lines around it. And voila, I have my square. Then the next step is to draw shapes. So you're going to go to the line tool and the polyline. You guys are all familiar with this from the mosaics. And then I'm going to start drawing shapes. So it's hard to get curves with this. If you do little, sometimes you lose it. So let me get rid of this actually. I was trying to do a curve and you have to make like tiny little movements, and sometimes you kind of lose your line. But every time you click, you can change the direction of your line and you can continue to kind of bring that up to this space. Remember, you have to connect it. And then once you connect it, it'll change colors. So then you want to make it white. And you want to make sure there's no lines around it. That's transparent. And then I'm going to go to my arrow tool, and that's going to give a little square around it. And this is where I can make a copy and I can paste it. So I have two. So then I'm going to make that second one black. Oops, missed it. Black and transparent with its lines. And then I'm going to go to arrange, rotate, and I'm going to, whoops, I am going to flip vertically. Boom. And then just make sure it's lined up with the one but underneath it. And there you have it. So the other thing that I learned is you can go back to this polyline and I can go inside this shape. Whoop, not working. Hopefully this will work. I can draw a shape within the shape. And what I would do is make that one white. Make sure there's no lines. And then what I want to do is to grab it, copy and paste. We'd bring it down, kind of doing the opposite, right? I would make this black, make sure there's no lines around it, arrange and rotate vertically. And then bring the whole thing down and I can do that. So I bring this down just a little bit. And so then I have a little bit more interest where I have this kind of outline and then I have another shape within a shape so that it's not just your basic, your basic shapes that you can possibly do. It gives you a little bit more interest as far as, as far as creating some interesting shapes instead of some boring shapes. All right, so that being said, these are due, I think, did I make them due on Monday? I'm pretty sure I might have changed it from today till Monday, just because I feel like so many people are trying to get their Oaxacan animal done. So I'm gonna keep working on this while I'm here in class, and I will, you can watch, and if you have questions, please make sure that you are asking. Now, this one I made the edge a little wonky, so it's not really going to work. So I might actually just get rid of them and start again. All right, so I'm going to keep this going. You guys, if you need anything, please let me know. Remember that you are, let me go to the chat. Yep, the squares, Sam, the squares. If you're using paper, it really works better when your squares are square. So 8 by 8 and 16 by 16, but they could be a little off, but not tremendously. Like you don't want, like your bigger paper, it doesn't matter as much as long as you have enough space for your shapes to go onto that bigger paper. So that's not a big deal, but your square, you really want, and yes, it can be smaller. The square can be smaller than 8 by 8. But just if you're going to make it smaller, do it 7 by 7 or 6 by 6. Don't, keep it square is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Okay. So like I said, you have a lot more freedom with paper, but if you need to do the Google Draw, that's fine. You have that ability to go either way if you want. You only have to do one. You don't have to do both. And we're going to start another project on Monday. So we'll make sure that we get this one done in over the weekend, as well as your Oaxacan animal. All right, anybody have any questions? No? All right, I am going to stop this recording. And I'm gonna still share my screen. And then I'm gonna keep working on this Google Draw Notan.